Hello, hockey and basketball fans. My name is David. I thought I would start this video at 5:51 on the morning of what is it? Thursday, 23rd of February, 2023, North American Eastern Time. What I would do is mention that for the Toronto Raptors, the relevant All-Star break ends this. Well, basically, it's already over. There's a game taking place. Just have to figure out where it is. Oh, good. All right, give me a moment here. Just all right. All right. So what I'm gonna do is I'm gonna try here. All right. Just give me a moment here. Just we have the Raptors on this Thursday Eastern Time, and it's gonna and also gonna go to the what's there? I'm just gonna. Go to it's gonna be all right, just gonna go NBA standings. All right, so just gonna go. I do apologize. Just have some screen freezes. I'm just gonna do. All right, I accept it here. Sorry, that. The just gonna. Just gonna try to illuminate things a little bit. I do apologize. It's either Raptors are in a play-in spot, couple games in, but they're still, you know. So realistically, the Raptors could be caught by three of those teams. They're still quite a ways out of, an automatic playoff spot. So that's see what happens. If the Raptors could finish 7th or 8th, which they're not far out of. Excuse me for a second. Do apologize here for the lighting. I'll try to do that. Oops. Alright, so there. And now I'm going to go to, before I get to the NHL teams, go to where the standings are. As of, After a loss in regulation to the Isles, Jets are in rather precarious position there. 4 points ahead of the Avs and Wild. Could be the Jets will drop down. I'm going to see what the Canucks are. Well, don't have much of a hope of getting anywhere. But when it comes to the Alberta teams, it's been a mixed bag. The Oilers, the Oilers and Flames haven't exactly done very well. Well, I've done okay. The Flames are, did end up winning, beating the Coyotes on Wednesday, Eastern Time, but it was still a little too close for comfort. 3-1. It was a 3-1 deficit. That had been a middle of the second period. So now what it's going to do is just going to go to those games that occurred on Wednesday, and you can see here, it was a rather mixed bag. Thursday, We have a few games there. Canucks, Oilers, Canucks, and Flames in action on the road in different parts of the contiguous United States. So, thought I would also mention that also on Wednesday afternoon Eastern time or whatever evening, for each of Canada's NHL teams, I started kind of go geographically. Under since the appointment of Rick Tocchet as head coach, and you can see there it's not very impressive. It's not a hugely impressive record. And I just try to go to see there in a tweet thread, and all right, so we're gonna number after last preseason, and you look at so yeah, when the Canucks are giving up not more than 2 goals, goes into the game to take place on Thursday Eastern Time at the Enterprise Center in St. Louis in eastern Missouri. Canucks have won all 10 games during which they've given up under 3 goals. Well, how often that has occurred? Well, not often enough. They have for 22, 30, so that's 52, 57. So 57 games, 47 of which have featured at least 3 goals given up. In that tweet thread, I mentioned throughout that all the records taken from the various relevant Wikipedia pages for the current season for each of those teams. I think, wow. When Canada's teams have given up at least 3 goals, they have done as well proportionately on point percentages, as opposed to when they've given up not more than 2. That isn't to say that giving up fewer 3 goals is a guarantee of a win. Look what happened, last night. Jets being beat by the Isles in regulation. Another loss, 6th in the last 10. So yeah, just gonna recap there. Just check one moment here. Yeah, 6. Yeah, 6th loss in the last 10. And I'm gonna also look at the when it comes to defense. It's been the Habs are in their last game put up a rather impressive performance against the Devils. But again, the Habs still have their issues. I thought I would present in terms of where the Canadian teams stand as of this Thursday morning, Eastern Time. So what we're going to do is look at the top of the league here. So we have the Sens having earned 15 points in the last 10. And number 2, we have the Oilers. The Oilers having earned 13. The Leafs 12 for third among Canadian teams. The Flames have earned 10. I'm going to just check for a moment here. Earned 10, which is good enough for fourth among Canadian teams. Then we have the Habs having earned 9. Second last, the Jets, having earned 8 in their last 10. And the Canucks, we have having earned 8. All right, so 6th, tied for 6th, we have the Jets and Canucks. When it comes to lack of production in their offense, I look at Look at the Jets. Just not enough production. And I'm not sure if Peg City Hockey YouTube Man, who I believe is based in the lower mainland of British Columbia, has put out a video about the loss, but if he has, by the time I've posted this video to YouTube, it'll be okay. Doesn't matter though. Whatever he does, or doesn't decide to do, will be up to him. But there's no doubt that it's just absolutely the Jets got Sorokin'd. Yeah, Sorokin was very much Shesterkin-like, stopping all but one shot from Winnipeg Jets skaters. I don't know, I mean, when I think of the Canadian teams and, which one do I see getting playoff action? I look at the wild card race. The Oilers, alright, I'm going to go with the West here. Check one more time. Yeah, the Oilers actually have do they have a better one than it? Yeah, well, it's getting up there. The Oilers and Jets have each played 58 games since last preseason. The Jets having earned 71 points, so the Oilers 70. If it were the Pacific Division, it would be like right nipping at the heels. But again, the Oilers still got to worry about not having such a huge cushion. They have 5 points. They're also the Preds with 60 points. Look secure, not. And whereas look at the Leafs and with 78 points over 58 games. And yes, the question still is whether the Leafs most likely will face Lightning, start at Amalie Arena down in Western Florida or the Gulf of Mexico side, or start have their 2 games that playoff series in April, take place at Scotiabank Arena. Not that home ice advantage, however, for the Leafs has been a rather mixed bag. 2 postseasons ago, the Habs end up doing better at Scotiabank Arena than in their own building. And yeah, so that means the reverse side, Leafs end up winning 2 or 3 games that had taken place at the Bell Center. Just 1 of 4 that had taken place at Scotiabank Arena. So yeah, so this be a question of what whether it'll be home or away. Will it be home ice advantage for Leafs or for Lightning? Looking at the standings, there 14 points the Leafs have up on the Panthers, Lightning 11. So it's probably going to be one of those. Going to be Leafs and Lightning, second straight season. Who doesn't like that? Leafs have played a whole bunch of teams, different, almost every team in the Eastern Conference since having joined it. But again, who knows? It's going to be interesting. Whether an Atlantic Division team finishes in a wild card spot. I mean, it's not inevitable that it does happen. The Pens and Caps have struggled. The Wings, Panthers, and Isles have not. Then there's the Sabres squad that's not exactly done great in the last 10. Sens could be in the mix, but again, yeah, it's so unpredictable. But yeah. So I do predict that at least one of the Jets and Oilers will see playoff action. At this point, I believe it's a question of which one. The Oilers have only lost one of their last 10 games in regulation. They have 13 points. Yes, the Oilers have won 4 of their last 10. But in extra time, they have 5 points out of those losses. So 13 point percentage is 65.0 in their last 10. So, if I remember serves me correctly, yeah, that'll be 13 out of 20, 13 out of 20 possible points. And the Jets, though, haven't done, have won the same number of games in their last 10, but all their losses have been in regulation. And that's not so good. Flames have 10 points over their last 10, 4 in regulation, and 2 in extra time. It's interesting to find out what happens, but again, it's about these Canadian teams, and defense has been an issue, scoring has been an issue. I mean, against the Coyotes, it looked like the Flames were going to be blown out. I mean, the Coyotes haven't done amazing, quite well in Mullet Arena. So I'm just going to go, if it's memory serves me correctly, just going to go to the Coyotes. Look at how badly they've done on the road. But at home, what was it there? 28 points. All right, so that's 28. All right, we have 13, 9, 2. So that's 11. So it's 24 games, 28 points earned. So easily, the Yotes have earned over half the available points that they played in their home games. So home games, they have, there has been some work that had needed to be done to Mullet Arena. So basically, the Yotes, they had to play a lot of games on the road to start the regular season. So all in all, the Yotes will have just 7 games left to be played away from home. 13, 9, and 2, so 24, 17 at home. And that'll be, I mean, kind of quite a number of home games, but again, if you sleep on them, they will come out. And against the Flames, the Coyotes did. Until the Flames found extra gear and ended up winning. But again, defense has been a big problem for some of these teams in Canada. I mean, the Canucks been, legend, but it hasn't exactly. But when the Flames have allowed, a minimum of 3 goals, they haven't done that well. And going into their game against Coyotes, that, you can see there, a 9-16, 8-1 win, regulation loss, overtime loss, shootout loss record. That's not good. When giving up at least this many goals, it's no surprise the record hasn't been as good as when the Flames have given up, at most, this number of goals in a given game. Well, it's no surprise. I mean, there's also goaltending has been inconsistent. Go with Markstrom, go with Vladar. And yes, it's going to be an interesting set of games on Thursday Eastern Time. There's no doubt that the Canucks have been, they haven't done that well. All I know is that these Canucks, but all the Canadian teams have struggled this season at different times. And it's just when their defense has not been good, it hasn't been good. And there's a notable trade involving a Canadian team, Nikita Zaitsev, who signed his existing contract with the Leafs in the late 2010s, undrafted, will be heading over to his 3rd NHL team. Signed with the Leafs, a Leafs team that traded him to the Sens traded him to the Hawks. And yes, it's been quite a journey. I'm going to just go see how he's done. Alright, so we're going to go and see what his So yeah, the Hawks have acquired Zaitsev. So it's gonna go. So-called Russian gem. The NHL is slow to discover. Well, just gonna go to. It's one of the stupidest decisions to sign him for like there was no tomorrow. So, in terms of the regular season, oh, that's not good. Okay, so it may be the number of points he has. It's not great. We have a -5. Alright, what I'm going to do is... it's available on the website there. So that's the link. Anyone who wants to go to it. And I'm going to go to the regular season. It's been got a big bag. Hasn't got a lot of points, but... there are some good Leaf teams. And... I mean... But again, it's just been... he's gotten... okay, so he's defenseman. The problem is... gotten those... he hasn't exactly helped his cause. In terms of, making... he's down on his third team. Okay, he's not the best. Look at the postseason. When he's been in the postseason... he hasn't done that great either. -10 over 18 games. 2 points. But again, he can hardly defend. He's only been in 3 playoff series. And when he's traded the Sens, Sens haven't made the postseason, but let's see if he... what happens the rest of the way. He leaves a couple seasons left. This one on his contract, and then let's see what happens to him if another NHL team wants to take him. I mean, there are some that put in that there are some there are teams that allow potential applicants to play on the roster go through professional tryouts. I mean, there was the case of Jimmy Vesey, who was underwent a professional tryout before 2021-22 season was to begin, or the regular season was to begin. He aced it, but again, having to go through it. I do plan to provide a link to that video as soon as I can. To the Jimmy Vesey story, I believe the Odd Man Rush YouTube man, based in England. New York Rangers fan. Go to his profile, find that there. And on that note, I'm probably going to get on with my day, see how the rest of it goes. So if you like the video, click that. Want to subscribe for more timely notifications of videos I put out, which I try to do at least every other week. I do invite you to click the subscribe button. And on that note, I'm gonna say goodbye from the condo suite in which I live in Midtown Toronto, in the capital of Ontario, Canada, and go Leafs go.